Something very rare has happened in cruising. A cruise line has canceled their voyage shortly after departure. They got a little ways out. They said, hey, we're going to cancel this voyage. We're turning around and we're going back. And they're offering some great perks to the passengers on board that ship. And in this video, we're going to give you all the details, and it's all coming up. Welcome to the Travel Scouts. My name is Jason. We are your cruise information channel. So subscribe if you love cruising. Okay, this is a quick cruise news blast about a cruise that was canceled shortly after its departure. This happened today, and we're also going to talk about those great perks that the passengers are going to be receiving. Here's what happened. The Norwegian Pearl departed yesterday, Monday, January the 3rd, from Miami. Today, January 4th, they sent a letter to the passengers on board the ship, and they said this. They said, the health and safety of our guests, crew, and communities we visit is our #1 priority. Today, we identified several COVID-19 positive cases within our crew on board Norwegian Pearl, which is sailing at 100% vaccinated guests and crew, most being asymptomatic and being monitored by our medical team. All affected crew and close contacts are currently in isolation. The letter went on to state that the Norwegian Pearl was turning around. It would be returning to Miami, and that on Thursday, January the 6th, they would be disembarking all guests. Okay, so obviously this is not something that happens every day, but the reality is in our current day and climate, this specific thing is something that could happen on almost any cruise. You just never know when this may happen. So the question may be, how did they, Norwegian, handle this with the guests? Well, here is how they handled it. They went on to say in that letter that everyone would receive a full refund. There was nothing else that they needed to do to make that happen. It would be a full refund back to that original form of payment at the time of their reservation. They also stated that within 5 business days it would be processed and they would have the money back within 7 to 10 business days. They also noted that if this cruise was paid for by future cruise credits, that the 100% amount of that future cruise credit would be reapplied back to their Latitudes account. And then one of the big concerns when something like this happens is, what about airfare? What about for those that have booked air travel on the other end of that cruise, which with them returning early, that's going to be several days away. And this is going out of Miami. So a very large portion of people that sail out of Miami, they fly there to get to the port because it's just too far of a drive for most people unless you live in Florida, right? So they addressed that, Norwegian did, in that letter as well. They said if you booked your air travel through Norwegian Cruise Line, that you'd receive those new flights within 48 hours. However, if you book that air travel by yourself or in some other way, all they said was they just encourage you as soon as possible to begin looking at what refund options or other options you may have with the airline or your travel insurance. And here's one thing we would say as a cruise tip, specifically if you are a newer cruiser, during times like this where there's some uncertainty with the different sailings, it is a very important time to consider, one, either booking your air travel through the cruise line because then they take care of it if something changes. And if nothing else, making sure that you have travel insurance. Travel insurance is relatively cheap, but when something like this comes up, it literally pays for itself. And it will save you a lot of money. But then we get to the good stuff. We get to those extra perks that Norwegian wants to give to encourage those passengers not to give up on Norwegian, but to go ahead and rebook another cruise with them. They offer 4 things to these passengers on this Norwegian Pearl sailing. So let me break them down for you here real quick, one at a time. Number 1, when they choose to rebook, they will receive a 100% future cruise credit for the entire amount of their voyage fare paid. And this will be available to them as early as January 10th. So here just in a few days. And they can use that to book any sailing all the way out to May 31st of 2023. So that pretty much amounts to another free cruise. Number 2, if they book this next cruise before the end of this month, before the end of January, they will receive 70% off on the rates for the second guest. Now they can use this as long as they book it this month. It can be for any cruise all the way between now, all the way through any of the published cruises for 2024. Number 3, if they book before the end of this month, before the end of January, they also get all 5 of Norwegian's free at sea amenities. Now, if you've never sailed with Norwegian, the way they do this is they have these 5 free at sea amenities. Sometimes they'll offer you 1 to get you to go ahead and sign up for that cruise. Sometimes they'll offer you 2, or you can upgrade for a little bit of cost and get these. But if these passengers go ahead and book this month, they get all 5 of them. And these amenities, they include free unlimited beverage package, they have free Wi-Fi package, free specialty dining, free shore excursion credits, and reduced rates for family and friends. And then number 4, if you purchase a Cruise First certificate, which costs $150, Norwegian says they will give you a $150 free credit for doing that, which basically means you get the Cruise First certificate for free. And on this letter that Norwegian gave to the guests, they estimate that the combined value of all of these offers is well over $4,000 US per person. So the fast recap, they're getting 3 days or so on a cruise ship for free before it arrives back there on January 6th for the disembarkation. They're getting a full refund for the cruise, and then they're getting all of these perks if they rebook. So that's the positives. The negative side is if you only have a few weeks of vacation, and this was how you're planning to spend part of that vacation time that you have, look, it just got interrupted in a big way. While you're down in Florida, you could head on to Disney or you can go to a beach or something like that. But look, things definitely got shifted up a bit. I really would love to get your input on 2 things if we could. One is this. What do you think about what these guests are receiving? Is that something you would be super pumped about? Like, you know, hey, you got 3 days already. Yeah, I'll take this refund and all the other perks that you get. Would that be something you would be excited about? Would you be bummed about it? How would you be receptive to that? That's the first thing. Chime in below. Would love to hear from you on that. The second thing is, how are you feeling about going on a cruise right now? I know most watching this channel, like ourselves, man, we are cruise lovers. We are cheering the cruise lines on. Look, I would go on a cruise ship tomorrow if I was allowed to do so. But when you look at everything that's going on, some people don't like wearing the mask all the time. So, you know, there's those masking requirements now. You got some destinations are getting changed up that you can't go there. And then there's that possibility of getting canceled. So with these things going on, I just really want your honest input. We're all different situations in life. You know, how does this impact your willingness to go on a cruise right now? Because I have some great friends who love cruising. Big fans of the cruise community, but based upon everything going on right now, they're saying, you know what, I just want to wait a few months, let things sort of calm down a bit. There's all kinds of different views. Where are you at on that? Would love to hear. Chime in below and let us know. Okay, that's it for now. Tons of new things going on. The next video will be out soon, so be sure you subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss it. But God bless you. Have a super day.